It's time for another Devo tip on the book of Revelation, chapters 6 and 7. Knowing that Jesus has the earth's title deed, we can rejoice in hope, be patient in tribulation, and be constant in prayer. With this in mind, let's enter Revelation 6 and watch the Lamb open the seven seals. It is the risen Jesus that sends the four horsemen to earth. The horses are identified together as being the same in nature. Keep in mind that there's no clear indication that they are four single catastrophic events. Revelation is an apocalyptic prophecy. Its rich imagery is meant to paint a picture, not to provide a chronological sequence of events. When you read it carefully, you'll notice that the horses are given permission to persecute Christians. Ironically, the faithful are refined through those who try to destroy them. As Greg Beale puts it, such sufferings are not meaningless, but are part of God's providential plan that Christians should pattern their lives after the sacrificial model of Jesus. Yes, following Christ is the way of the cross. The first rider that appears is on a white horse. He appears to imitate Christ's appearance. Counterfeits are permitted to conquer, that is, persecute, through deception. The second rider, on a red horse, allows tensions to escalate worldwide. Conflicts often inflame hatred toward Christians. The third rider, on a black horse, grants economic hardship. Like the previous two seals, targeting Christians economically is in mind. The fourth rider, on a pale green horse, is given the name Death, to represent all kinds of death. For some Christians, persecution leads to martyrdom. The fifth and sixth seals are very different, and they describe two very different reactions to the irony that's going on. When Jesus opens the fifth seal, we see the martyrs in heaven resting in the Lord, and they're saying, "How long, Lord, before you bring forth justice?" The fact that they cry out with a loud voice confirms three things about believers in heaven. One, they are not asleep in a state of unconscious repose. Two, they are aware of time passing on earth. And three, they know that the King's plan is to one day cover the earth with justice and righteousness and truth. It must be remembered that Christ ultimately uses persecution as punishments for his enemies. When Jesus opens the sixth seal, cosmic disturbances signal a justified shakedown. The perpetrators of persecution are not at rest. They're seized with fear, and they're saying, "Fall on us, rocks, for who can stand the wrath of the Lamb?" Believers look at persecution with hope, knowing that one day Christ will set things right. Bullies, on the other hand, can only hope that death means extinction without retribution. Revelation 7 is difficult, but it does explain how believers persevere through the persecution described in Revelation 6 without losing their faith. They are sealed on their foreheads. What does that mean? What we do know is that God the Father has set his seal on all believers. That's what Jesus said, having given us his Spirit in our hearts as a guarantee. The Lord seals us not from suffering, but in order that we might persevere through suffering and death by the power of his Spirit. John heard the number of the sealed, 144,000, sealed from every tribe of the sons of Israel. But he saw a great multitude that no one could number from every nation. We must remember, again, that Revelation is an apocalyptic prophecy. The broad brushstrokes paint a colorful church made up of Jews and Gentiles from every ethnic group on earth. As Tertullian said in the 2nd century, we are not a new philosophy, but a divine revelation. That's why you can't just exterminate us. The more you kill, the more we are. The blood of the martyrs is the seed of the church. You frustrate your purpose, he said, because those who see us die wonder why we do, and when they find out, they join us. One day, we will all stand before the Lamb's throne. And then what will we do? Revelation 7 verses 15 through 17 tells us that we'll be busy. We'll be busy serving him day and night in heaven. What do you think your loved ones are doing right now? What do you think you'll be doing someday?